Great advice. So is he crossing the line? To show you how to break the law, joining us right now is the creator of the DVD, Never Get Busted Again, Barry Cooper. Good morning to you, Barry.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
On the other side, a former DEA agent, currently with the Investigative Management Group, Ann Hayes. Good morning to you as well, Ann.
Good morning, Steve.
Barry, where'd you get this idea to show people where to hide their illegal drugs?
Well, it became clear to me that learning 750,000 people go to jail every year for simple possession, with 400,000 of those being kids 25 years old and under, which hurts their chances of being educated because they can't get the student loans. It's unreasonable to search and arrest somebody for something as harmless as marijuana.
Well, Barry, you're talking about simple possession of something that is against the law.
Well, it shouldn't be against the law.
Well,
that law was. It is against the law. It was made against the law in 1937 when Harry Anslinger testified before the Senate that marijuana needed to be made illegal because of its effects on the degenerate races. And I'll quote him when he said before the Senate that marijuana causes white women to seek relations with Negroes, and marijuana has been illegal ever since, and the debate is over. It's much safer than alcohol, and the harm we're causing on American citizens by placing them in prison and jail where they can be murdered, stabbed, or raped for such a harmless plant is a greater harm we're causing than if we would have just allowed them to smoke the pot.
All right, and he says just let them smoke the pot.
Well, he's very far off base. I mean, as a former DEA agent on so many levels, I'm disgusted by what he's doing. But the main problem...
I'm disgusted by the DEA's attempts to block my testimony in court regarding drug dogs false alerting by you guys releasing a 2002 highly sensitive and confidential report. You faxed it, and it ultimately wound up in the hands of a civilian, which jeopardized the lives of other civilians.
Let you talk for a minute. Let me talk.
Barry, hold on. Barry, let Ann respond.
My concern is that we are minimizing the problems of marijuana. Marijuana is not a safe drug. Steve, I work with people every day, especially with kids. If you want to be stupid, smoke pot, because that's what it does to you.
Have you lost your mind? Marijuana, you're making statements that science has already proven
Barry, you have no credibility. You're a former law enforcement agent that is now teaching people how to break the law.
Your approval rating in the United States, the DEA's approval rating, is horrible. You have no credibility.
Well, I'm a former DEA agent, but
I don't think Ann Hayes has an approval rating. Barry, hang on just a second. When you see his DVD, where he shows young people or old people how to hide stuff under the dash, what does that make you think?
It's insignificant, the amount of impact he's having on law enforcement. I'm not concerned about that. What concerns me is two things. One is that he's sending the message that marijuana is a safe drug. It is not a safe drug. There is not an exception in the world with a kid who has drug problems that did not start with marijuana because they assume that it's a safe drug. It also sends the message to parents that parents are looking for an excuse not to confront their kids about drugs.
Sure.
It is very dangerous.
All right.
The third thing...
Hang on just a second. Barry and Ann, hang on. We want to continue this on the other side of a brief timeout, all right? More with Barry and Ann. Email us how you feel about this at friends@foxnews.com. Is it okay to show kids where to hide their stash? All right, we're back with one-time Texas law enforcement agent who is now showing drug users how to conceal their stash of pot or whatever. Join us right now. Top of the screen is the DVD creator, Never Get Busted Again, Barry Cooper. On the other side, a DEA agent currently with the Investigative Management Group, Ann Hayes. And one of your problems I know you've got with Barry is the fact that when people see that he is a former law enforcement person, they go, look at that, and he's showing us how to do it.
Right, he must know what he's talking about, and that's the problem that it sends. It sends out a message, one, that pot is okay, and it's not. Marijuana is very different than it was many years ago. The THC levels, tetrahydrocannabinol.
Not one person has ever died from an overdose of marijuana.
Have they ever died from getting in the car with the wrong person after they're high? If they're so high, they're speeding at 100 miles an hour down the highway. Yes, they do die.
That was from prescription medication.
Well, maybe he was smoking pot pot and used bad judgment and took pills. I mean, that's what happens. People smoke pot and then they use bad judgment. They drink, they pass out, they throw up, and then they choke. That happens to kids all the time.
According to FARS, the Fatal Accident Reporting System, only 17 people died in 2006 because of marijuana in an automobile, compared to 111,000 deaths of alcohol. Alcohol and tobacco kills hundreds of thousands of people every year.
I don't disagree with that.
Not one single death has been contributed to marijuana overdose, and only 17 have been contributed to traffic accidents.
Well, you're talking about overdosing. Overdosing is a little bit different.
Right.
Smoking yourself to death with pot would be difficult.
Well, I just gave you...
Hey, Barry,
it's
let me ask you,
impossible, not difficult.
Barry, let me ask you this. Barry, how much pot do you smoke? Do you smoke pot?
I smoke pot, but I don't inhale.
Very funny. You know, do you smoke pot? You're talking all about pot smoking.
I just answered your question.
So you smoke a lot of pot, you don't inhale?
I just said I smoke pot, but I don't inhale.
When you look at the DVD that he's selling and making a profit on, is he really giving anybody any big secrets?
No.
Hide it under the dash.
No,
absolutely. That's why over 10,000 Americans have bought it.
Barry, let her answer.
Well, it's my opinion.
You're letting her spew garbage.
Do me a favor, don't inhale for a moment. Go ahead, Ann.